Hi guys, this is Patricia with Little Bits. It's been a little bit. Little bits. I've just like been going on, like everybody else this time of year. How y'all doing? If you're new to my channel, please subscribe or catching a video or a short, which I tend to do because Molly has got to have a bath, me and her both. But anyway, I wanted to come out this morning. It's almost happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I wanted to say that to you. I'm going to come out water. I'm in the panhandle of Florida, and I sort of tried my hand at doing a little bit of really late planting because I had a bad fall and couldn't really grow the first part of the year. And I really didn't think I was going to garden at all or grow anything at all, but I did grow some okra. But it's almost the 1st of December. Would you look at my kumquat tree out here? Loquat. I call it kumquat, but it's a loquat. It usually struggles up this year, and I'm hoping, because we have a lot of shade out here in these trees and stuff, and I'm hoping I'm going to get some loquats this year, but I usually get mine in probably the end of February. But the bees are actually out here loving the blooms on the loquat. I wish I had a thing called loquat honey, if y'all had that in your area. But my bees are getting some late things too. I wish I could show you. They're all over these blooms, and I think it's the Lord that's wanting this tree to bloom. But there are blooms all over this tree, even up at the top, even when there's hardly any sun. This is the most I've seen my loquat tree bloom in a very long time. And even on the bottom here, and I've had this tree here is over 30 years old, because I know I'm up close to it and you probably can't see the full side of it. I've actually trimmed it a couple of times. But we actually, look at the bees flying. I can't know if you can see them flying in my camera. I sort of disturbed them. They're so fast. Some pollinators are out here. I guess this is a late harvest for them, something that they could get some nectar. And and these blooms, I don't know if you can see them. They're flying. They're flying all around. And it makes me happy. Not because I see the blooms and there's a potential of some fruit next year, but also for them, because, and they're all over. I don't know if you can see that one there. He's moving around. I don't know if you can see him. See him moving? And they're all over this plant. And they're needing food for the winter time. Not a really good time to harvest your honey if you do beehives. My son used to harvest honey. And they're not interesting in me being this close to them. Even, I'm going to show you a butterfly. If I can catch it. Whoops, there's butterflies out here. Let's see if I catch one. Show it to you. I have some late year butterflies out here on this plant. And this just makes my heart so happy to see this, because I know that it's providing. It's flying around. You can see it. It's over there on that. I wanted to capture it on this video. See his wings going back and forth? He's beautiful, isn't he? This butterfly, I don't know what kind it is. There's a couple of them. It's providing food for them. And food is so scarce for animals this time of year, and insects and bees, and they're just in a hurry. You know how it is when you try to get everything done before the end of the year, before it gets really, really cold. And these bees are busy bees and insects. Ain't she beautiful? Anyway, that's what I wanted to come out here and share this video with you. Hi there, baby. Hi there. Where's your buddy at? There's at least 2 of them that I know out here that I seen this morning. And like I said, these guys are all over this tree, and I hope they pollinate it really well. Not fair. Look at my leaves. I live in the woods, guys. Look at the leaves already. I was going to rake, but I'm going to try to save some of these leaves to go in my compost pile to break down. Instead, I usually put them in my driveway because I have a dirt driveway, and the erosion, I need to fill it in. Not the pine needles per se, but the leaves. And this is probably, I'm going to try to bring in, we're going to get a couple of more cold nights this week. And I wanted to clean out my garage. You know, it's been hard for me to get things done out here. But in the corner there, look at the sun come out, it's so nice. There's Molly. But I really don't want to put them inside this week because it's going to warm up again a little bit. And I got grow lights, but you need an awful lot for those tomato plants to have enough light. But I was going to put them at the corner of the door, and it's shaded, so, and then had the grow lights. But as long as I could keep some sunlight on them, and they're sort of heavy to move in and out. So I don't really want to move them in until it gets really low. I think the low is going to be in the 40s. Even close to like, excuse me, it's early for me, guys. You know, early, you know, still going to be in the 70s during the day. You know, one day I think it's 65, but, you know, but I wanted to come out and show you. I actually thought about pulling these up. All of these tomato plants here are determinate tomato plants because I knew that I wanted a short growing window, and I just want to get all the tomatoes at one time. And as they're in containers, I didn't want to get indeterminate because I've grown indeterminate and they could get really tall. So I thought I would have a shot. I even asked some other YouTubers what they thought before I actually started, and they thought I'd at least get one harvest of tomatoes before, you know, they died on me. So I've gone back and forth about just letting them go, and I praise God, and I've been singing to them too a little bit, out here singing, because they're the only ones that really like to hear me sing. But anyway, I'll start with the one over here. I only have one indeterminate, and it is a yellow cherry tomato, which had good reviews, and I was going to show you some of the cherry tomatoes on this. My son's coming in. But look at the blooms on this thing. Let's see if I can show you. And the tomatoes on it. Now these are, this is a red snapper, determinate tomato. And it actually got pretty tall. It surprised me. And I have some tomatoes on here. Oh my goodness.
I barely even saw her. She was like underneath. She ran right in front of it towards the car.
Oh wow.
Barely a little bit over enough to recognize her.
Molly almost came in front of Corey, my son's car, when he's pulling in the driveway. But anyway, yeah, she gets a little excited to see him. But, and I should have paid more attention. I'm out here doing this video. But, tomatoes, yeah, guys, and blooms. I'm gonna water it this morning while there's sun out today. I think we're gonna get a little bit of rain. There's another one, and there are these pots. And me and my son are hoping that if it does get cold, we're able to move these plants. They're doing their run. She's really frisky this morning. I don't know if you can see her way back there. That's my driveway. She wanted a little exercise this morning, get his attention. But yeah, this one almost died. It didn't really produce a lot of flowers. I can't remember the name, but they're all determinate. But it's really shooting out the blooms, right? And I've been trying to hand pollinate these tomatoes. I do shake them. They say you can shake them. especially if the bees ain't around. With the bees I showed you on that tree are really not interested in these tomatoes that much. I haven't really seen them on here because it has that big old tree over there. But being that tree blooming, it might encourage them to maybe stop over here on the way out, right? So aren't they beautiful? And I'm learning a few things to do with this tomato. What you can do is over winter you could cut some of the stems off and put them in dirt, because all these hairs are roots, and just keep them under grow lights all winter long, and then they'll grow where you could just put them out earlier than what you could find in the store, or really earlier than what you could do as seeds. So tomato plants are really great at propagating. I was going to show you this tomato. And I got a couple on this vine. You see that one right there? Isn't he pretty? Can't see the size of him. And he's been on here for a while. He's just getting bigger, because they haven't really got red yet, and this one hasn't got yellow yet. So it's taken actually longer. A little tiny, I want to show you, baby. And that's what deters me from wanting to pull them up and let them go. These are all my okra stalks. Some of them actually have been wanting to pull those up, but sometimes they provide support. So you got a butterfly over here on the tomato plant. As they want to actually bloom and still produce okra, guys, at the very top. So I'm blessed and surprised. Like this one over here, they still have greenery on them, and they're with my turmeric. I haven't pulled my turmeric out because they're in the same bucket as my turmeric, even though my turmeric is done. But they're getting blooms at the very top because they still want to produce okra. You know, I could walk over there and show you one that's growing if you want me to. But yeah, it's almost the 1st of December. Happy Thanksgiving again this coming on. And I do got to come out and repot some of this longevity spinach. I'm thinking about trying to sell some of it. It could go in some pots. It's another one that's really easy to grow. But my okra, look at that. And I love okra. Bloom that's up there. And I was going to think I saw something. I got one down there. And this is a bloom, guys. An okra bloom. And these are, in pots. I can't imagine how they would do one trying to grow there in soil. But since I live in the woods, I have to do what I do. I'm going to do a real quick show you my okra. Not my okra. Sorry about the ground too. I'm walking barefooted here. Squash. I had some yellow squash and some zucchini, but I don't have really any hopes for that. I mean, it's bloomed, but they're male blooms, and I just sort of grew it for the fun of it. I always tell the Lord, if I get something that I could eat this time of year, then it's a blessing. And actually it has bees like squash blooms, and my son says, well, something's actually eating my squash. Right here. So something's eating it. Had a squash bloom. I should, if it blooms, just try to take some of them off and eat them, since I'm not going to get no fruit. If it blooms again, I might try it. I've never had. You can see how it's getting a little colder. Too much cold for them. So I don't have any high hopes when it drops down to 40 for this. I do cover it with a cloth and some, you can see the leaves are sort of wilty here. But there are some good leaves on it. I keep looking underneath it thinking I'm going to see a squash. But I haven't. Like I said, this week there's another one fixing to bloom. When it blooms, I might just take it off because I don't see no balls on it. So, anyway, that's it. I just wanted to show you my garden this year. My hillbilly garden, if you want to call it that. Some plants I have to put in. But I'm going to go ahead and water these tomatoes while the sun's out this morning, so it can get some nutrients. I did try to fertilize it a little bit. And I'll let you know, do a community post if I don't take a picture, if they survive or not. or not. But if I could get them to get through this week, gets another cold, I'll have time to clean that garage out to put some of these plants in. At least try to harvest some of these leaves for next year. And maybe even slice up some of these green tomatoes and roast them or pan fry them. I don't bread things, but to pan fry them if I could get them big enough. But anyway, God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for watching. And subscribe, like, and share. I appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you later.